Hello again, everybody. Welcome to Saturday Morning Championship Wrestling. I'm going to be your host, Scott, from Great Scott's Art Studio. Today we are doing the Mayhem in Memphis comic book reveal. 50 full color pages of championship wrestling excitement. Big time action. Let's go back in the way back time machine to the 80s and 90s when every Saturday morning we all couldn't wait for Lance Russell and Dave Brown to call the action down at the Memphis studios. Championship Wrestling. Thanks for joining us. Mayhem in Memphis. Guys, really do appreciate you joining us here this Saturday morning as we do the Jerry the King Lawler comic book reveal here. Here's the people I needed to thank and everything. First off, I wanted to thank my Lord, my son, my sons, my family, my friends, Jerry Lawler, so on and so forth. So here's what Saturday morning used to look like for us. The Hillview Crew. I grew up over in Hillview, right outside of Louisville, Kentucky. Me and my friends, we used to all gather around on Saturday morning. And when we couldn't get together, of course, we would watch it separately and call each other on the phone or get together the next day or Monday at school and talk about it and wrestling on the bus and in the hallways. And we were just really totally ate up with championship wrestling. So here's the guys getting rowdy in the basement there, just a typical Saturday morning. And there, my little brother Tony and my buddy Larry and Jason and Byron, just to name a few of the guys. But these were the kind of the main players of the Hillview Crew. And so, it's real interesting of how this book came about. I actually, what I wanted to do was an animated motion picture about Memphis Championship Wrestling. And I kind of pitched the idea to Jerry Lawler at a Comic-Con. I'm not sure if I was working that con or not. I think I may have just been visiting. I don't think I had a booth. But anyway, I think it was might have been the one in Louisville about 4 or 5 years ago. I can't remember, but because I've seen him so many times. I've seen him in Lexington, Indianapolis, Louisville. So anytime he comes close around, I try to go see him, whether he's wrestling for OVW, whether he's doing a Comic-Con. Throughout the years, I've always, tried to go catch the king, catch up with him and check him out. So anyway, here, but that's how the comic book came about. I pitched the idea for a major motion picture animated show or animated movie to Jerry Lawler, and he said, "You know what? That sounds like that would be a really good comic book." And I was like, "Hey, that's a good idea. A comic book I can do." So they do take a while. It's a lot of work. Most comics have about 4 or 5 people working on them. This comic only had me and my wife, and then of course I had some friends and family help with some editing. But here's just a couple of quick shots of the book. It has 5 full color posters in it. Here's one of the fabulous ones. If anybody knows anything about Memphis wrestling, the Fabs were over like Rover, man. They were all about it, and they were up in the AWA. Of course, they wrestled in the USWA, CWA, and all over the globe, man. They were just really hot tag team that came out of Memphis. And so here's our guys. We got Dave Brown, I got Lance Russell, I got Michael St. John, I got Randy Hales, all those guys. Big parts of our childhood growing up. I wanted to represent them. I wanted them to be in the story. So let's skip ahead here a few pages here to where we get to where this is where Jerry is introduced to the new #1 challenger in pro wrestling for the world title, and Jerry's holds the world title. And here comes this guy. His name is Lord Mastodon, and he's tired of Jerry Lawler, and he wants to be the new king. And Lord Mastodon is not only undefeated, but he is the international heavyweight champion, the Southern heavyweight champion, and the NWA Mid-America heavyweight champion. So this guy is just a belt collector, and he's been running rug shot all over the country, man, just collecting belts and putting people out of commission. So he comes into Memphis, and he plans on doing that to the king. But little do they know, the king is the world's greatest wrestler. So we'll see what happens, right? So as we get the story going here, I don't want to give away too much, so we'll keep going. We'll skip a few pages here and thumb through this. So let's skip ahead here. For all you guys that love championship wrestling, this is a must-have for your collection. It's a way for me to pay tribute to all the famous wrestlers that came through Memphis wrestling. The Brian Christophers in the 90s, the Fabs, the Rock and Roll Express in the 80s, of course, Idol, Dundee, Dutch Mantel, all the way back to the 70s. And so, you know, these guys were our heroes growing up. I mean, we drew pictures of them, we emulated them, we pretended to be them, we recorded them on VHS. We would record Saturday Morning Wrestling and watch it over and over all week long. So this is just a tribute to these guys. This is a passion project. This is not a big money maker by no means. Nobody paid me to do this. I did this completely out of my own pocket, and it's just from my love and compassion. This was just a tribute to Jerry Lawler, who was my all-time favorite wrestler, and to all the heroes from championship wrestling. You know, guys like Steve Kern and all those guys who are legends, man. And the list just goes on and on. So let's skip ahead here a little bit. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to give the whole book away. So we're gonna go to one of my favorites. Boom! The Universal Heartthrob, Austin Idol. He was a main player down in Memphis for a while. And we'll get here to a little bit more action here. Jerry Lawler doing his thing. And how does it all end? I don't know. I guess you have to buy the book. So how do you buy the book, you say? Very easy, guys. Just go to Amazon and you can type in Mayhem in Memphis featuring Jerry Lawler, and it should pop right up. Also, if you want to go to my eBay store, you can get on eBay. Same thing. Just type in Mayhem in Memphis, Jerry Lawler. You can get on my Facebook store. If you order from my Facebook store or you order from my eBay, I'll sign them for free, no charge. I'll autograph them for you guys. No big deal at all. It's my pleasure to do it. But unfortunately, I can't sign the ones from Amazon because they don't come from me, even though Amazon prints them. And as you guys can tell, man, they do a bang-up job. The colors pop. The pages are shiny, man. The binding, it's got perfect binding, so there's no staples. It's just a great collector item for any championship wrestling fan from back in the day. Thank you guys so much for spending a few minutes with us. And, hey, get it today, and long live the king.